Alright, so this is like what, day 4 of working on this. I've only put a couple hours a day, really, each day. It's not 4 days in a row. This is actually like day 6. Okay. So, we have our quick disconnect box here. I ran a pipe out. I gotta put some caulk around here or seal that with something. To get this pipe bent, I just put it over our gas stove and heated it a little bit, and then I was able to bend a curve in it, as you can see there, because I couldn't come through that. So, so yeah, that comes out, and then we have our 220 running here, our 2 fuses, and then 220 running back out through the can't think what is this, Romax? Romax, anyway. Again, I know enough to be dangerous, but my point is, this is not a $20,000 job. Again, I was quoted 15 to 20 grand to install AC in this house. So far, I do have a guy coming to drop the line. I think that's going to be about 500 bucks. And so all said and done, I'll have about $2,500 into the bottom, and I'll have all my electrical and stuff ready for the next. So the next I only have about 2,000 into. So when it's all said and done doing it myself, I'll have about $4,500 into it. But anyway, we're just still working on the top floor right now. So basically, here's the thermostat wire, the blue and the yellow, and then there's the 220. So we're all wired in and connected and good to go. So yeah, basically keep it 3 feet from, at least 3 feet from any gas line. Basically I'm going to button all this up. It'll be done. The only thing left is literally connecting 3 wires in there on the breaker box. Make sure to keep the breaker off until he actually has the line dropped and connected, which he is doing tomorrow. Originally, this is Wednesday. He was going to do it today, but he hurt his wrist, and so he's going to do it tomorrow. So hopefully he shows up. But again, I was quoted 15 to 20 grand by different people to install AC in this house. Right now, after he drops the line, which I won't know until I see the actual bill, but with the air handler, the AC unit, all the conduit I had to buy, all the wiring I had to buy, the breaker boxes I had to buy, all of it, I'll have about $2,500 into the top floor. I do have some duct work I still have to do up there, but I can't imagine that being so expensive, so I'm rounding that in. I've actually got at this point only about $1,500 into it, and then if he's around 500, that's 2 grand, and then to do the duct work. So I'm thinking downstairs is going to be much less because all the electrical's all done. It's going to be a lot easier to drop the line. I may even be able to drop the line because I can probably, it's a straight run. I could probably just get a pre-charged line. This one is not straight. We have to go clear up the house. I'll show you. We got to go clear up there. I wasn't about to run a line up there. Yeah, I didn't want to do that. It's got bends and you have to do soldering and everything else, so I didn't want to do that. But anyway, I should have maybe about $4,500 in the total AC for the entire house when it's all said and done. But right now we're only about to the $1,500 mark. I still have duct work to do and have to pay him to drop the line. So again, the AC unit and the handler was under $1,200 with shipping. Sorry, I have a bad habit of doing that. So under $1,200 with shipping. So I'm going to close all this up, and I am done and ready for him to drop the line tomorrow.
Once we have all the square footage,
Alright, so
we'll add them together.
hopefully you can hear me in all this noise. I got fans running and AC running. The guy didn't show up when he was supposed to. That was days ago.
We are going
Finally have the line dropped.
calculation
Got all finished. Total cost Took him 2 days because he forgot stuff, had to come back. Now keep in mind, it's not cosmetically finished. When I go to paint, I'll go ahead and put that nice, they make some special nice ducting stuff that can go over it. But everything worked. Thermostat, all that worked like a charm, no issues there. I'll show you what we got. Let me go up there and show you what we got. So I'm running it right now, even though I have no duct work. I'll take any cooling I can get. We finally got up here down to 91 degrees. It's blowing into the attic, which I closed off and have the bathroom door open, so the air is actually coming. We're cooling the attic and the air is getting sucked back through here, but I mean, it was almost 100 degrees up here on this floor. So 91 is better than 100. And being as I'm gonna have to be working in the attic to do the duct work, I figure I'll go ahead and cool this down. By the way, I did learn a little more. The low setting is what I'll probably, was where it's supposed to be for 1.5 tons. So it's 400 CFM per ton. So 600 CFM is around the low setting or the medium setting. Actually, it's going to be about the medium setting because the low setting would end up being a little too low. So right now I have it on high. I'm probably going to put it on medium. I'm out of breath. Walking up all these stairs all day. Anyway, so I'll show you what we got. So again, it's not pretty, but it works. So here's the drain. It goes out to this little pump here. When this pump gets full, it automatically kicks on, goes out this pipe, which goes out outside there and goes into, and that just runs into the gutter. So that's where that goes. Am I in the picture? So yeah, there we go. So that just goes into the shutter, the gutter, and then runs out. So basically, we've got it all ran here. So we've got it all ran here. And we're gonna come down the side, so when if we ever finish the attic, this can be behind a wall. And then it comes out center. And then let me go outside. Yeah, let me go outside and show you what we got out there. So, all right, so here we are. Again, I'll show you the side of the house. I know it's not pretty. I'm gonna make it prettier when I get around to painting the outside of the house. I'll get, like I say, I'll do it. I'll clean it up. It's kind of sloppy. But anyway, what do you expect for 600 bucks, right? All right. So we're one step closer with that. So now we will go inside and figure out what to do on the ductwork. One of the guys that was helping him told me how he would do it. I did some research on it. You know, you see some people really bashing flex duct, and I understand why, but I just want to get this done. And it is such a short distance between each of the vents up there. I really, in this particular case, think that just doing flex duct is going to be a lot easier for me, and I can get it done. And it's not going to be a significant loss of efficiency because I don't have to go that far between each duct. Alright, so basically about 10 feet is the longest duct. I think is maybe 20 feet, the longest one. I found this site here that has a nice little chart, and the site was buildingcalifornia.com. Well, anyway, it has this nice little chart right here. There you go, and that is for flex duct. And then it has a nice little set of rules down at the bottom. And the rules are, assuming I can find my mouse. Here we go. And the rules are: identify the volume of air that's passing through the duct. Select the size from the table. If the size exceeds the CFM rating, increase to the next size. If basically we may need to install dampers, is what it's saying. If your duct is more than 25 feet, increase the size again. Basically, that's just to get you the estimate. Then you put dampers in to fine tune it. So it's really pretty simple. It's kind of a rule of thumb kind of thing. So every ton is, you want 400 cubic feet per minute of airflow. And so I have a ton and a half, so that means I have 600 cubic feet of airflow. So we need to figure out how many cubic feet do we need when we divide that 600 cubic feet out. How many does each room get? So you figure out the square footage of each room, and then you take the 600 square feet and you divide it by that. And so, for example, I had like 530 some square feet. So that came out to basically like 1.14 cubic feet per minute, something like that. Close enough. Anyway, just say 1.2, round it up to 1.2. So we know that for every square foot, because of the number of feet we have, we need to do 1.2 cubic feet. So for example, you know, if it's the bathroom was 50 cubic feet, you would go, that's basically like 10 more feet on top of that. Yeah, so it's like 60 cubic feet of air. My math could be wrong. I'm doing it off the top of my head. So when you look at the chart, for example, will say, if you're using 25 foot of flex or less, use this size pipe for this much cubic feet. So the chart I found, for example, said 6-inch pipe could do 75 cubic feet per minute. 8-inch pipe could do 160 cubic feet per minute. So basically our rooms came out to where I needed like 68 cubic feet for the bathroom, 125 for Britton's room, 153 for Tiana's room. Our room was a little more, but I'm not going to worry about it. Our room was technically 170 cubic feet, but so technically I should have gone to a bigger pipe and then put a damper on, but I'm too lazy for that, so I may get in trouble for it, but that's what I did. So needless to say, the pipes I ended up going with was 6 foot for the bathroom and 8 foot pipes for everything else. So to keep things simple, and also because eventually I want to finish this attic when I have money, which will be never. I'm just going to run from over here. Where is it? There it is. I'm going to run a 12-inch pipe, which the 12-inch pipe was 420 some cubic feet per minute, which the 2/8 was 160, so that's 320. So the 12-inch pipe was the next pipe up, I think, that would handle enough airflow for 2 8-inch pipes coming off of it. And then on the other end over here, I'm going to run a 10-inch, which will go over here. A 10-inch is 300 cubic feet per minute. 10 inches, 300 cubic feet per minute. And then I run a 6 off to the bathroom, which is 75, and the other one, which was 160, that it could provide total, basically, which is under 300. So a 10-inch is the right size. It was the size that actually could accommodate that. And so that's what I got. Here's all my parts. I've got my boots. I got 3 8-inches, 1 6-inch. I've got my, ooh, that got all bent up. Great. I got my, this goes on the 12-inch right here. So this will go on there. So I have a T to take the 12-inch. This is all they had in the stock. So this is what I'm using. I don't know if a Y would have worked better, but this is what I'm using. So I've got a T that's going to go to 2/8, I've got the 10-inch T down here, and that is going to go, is that going to work? And I've got a 6 and a 10, a 6 and an 8 to go on that. Not sure why that's shaped differently, but I'll figure it out. So yeah, so I got a 6 and an 8 to go on that. And then I have my plenum box that I have to cut down, but this is going to be for, and there's the ends, the 10-inch and the 12-inch that goes into the plenum. So here's what we're doing over here. The first thing we're doing is we've been building little boxes to hold the boots. And so I just took 1x6. I may be doing this wrong, but it's probably going to work just fine. I got to put a little better tape on that. Let me get the other one. Go ahead and tape those corners up a little better. Where it's torn. You know what I mean, right? So anyway, here I'll just show you what we got. Tiana's building these. She's actually doing a pretty good job. So basically, we've got the boot. I framed it in a little with some scrap lumber, using 2x6s and some scrap lumber from a desk, so it's a little less than a 2x6. And I mounted this in here, and I sealed off the lines with the tape. And I also, they didn't have mastic anywhere in this town. So I used liquid nail. That's all I could find. They looked at me like, what's mastic? Like, seriously? I didn't want to have to drive 45 minutes to Des Moines, but I think it'll be fun. So anyway, here's the hole we cut in the floor. And what we'll do is I'll clear all that out, and we're gonna stick these guys in there. I'll have to cut holes in the ceiling. Can you even see that? Get a little back here a little bit. So yeah, we don't have any light, do we? Well, okay, get down here. I don't know if you can see it. So anyway, I've got to cut a hole in the ceiling. I drilled a hole just to see where I was at. And I can nail this right to, there's a 2x6 right here that's in the ceiling, and so I'm going to just lay this right next to it and then use these edges and nail it right to it to hold it in place. That's how I'm doing it anyway. So that's where we're at so far, and once that's all put in place, I'll show you the next step. And again, my point of this is to just show you that even though I may not be doing this completely to spec, the way some people might want it, I know some people say don't do it in the attic, but hey, that's the only place it's going in this house. I'm sorry, I'm not running ductwork and building a plaster wall. This is not happening to hide it. So with that being said, my point is, this shouldn't cost $15,000 to have done. You can do it yourself if you get some absurd bids like that. It is doable. Because I don't know what I'm even doing, and I'm doing it myself. Alright. Apologize for it being so dark. Been a long day. Okay, so before I show you this, keep in mind, this is probably not how you want to do yours. However, I do plan on finishing this attic. So there's a lot of reasons I did the things I did. And there's still a lot more work I have to do in order for this to really be considered right. First off, when you are putting, everything I've researched, when you are putting, also, the guy sold me black flex instead of silverback. Apparently that's all I could get in a timely fashion, and it's hot. So I'm going to just make do with it. I'm going to eventually condition this space completely. So if I wasn't going to condition this space, then this would be a completely wrong way of doing this. So keep in mind, I'm finishing this attic at some point. So that is one reason why I did the things I did. With that being said, if you were going to do this yourself and you weren't going to be finishing the attic, first off, the rule of thumb is, everybody says, don't put your air conditioning in your attic because it's 140 degrees and you're going to be wasting energy, obviously. Again, this is a 1910 two-story house, and it would have been a lot of work to do otherwise. I'm putting one AC unit in the bottom, one AC unit in the top, one air handler in the bottom, one air handler in the bottom, and with separate condensers for both. So that's the plan. With that being said, if you have no option and you have to put the air handler and everything in the top, you want to do it not an upflow like the way I have mine, unless you're finishing your attic and you want to keep your space and there's a reason for it. You're going to want to do it as low to the bottom, the floor of the attic as possible, because the higher you get, the hotter it gets, and it will be less efficient. So with that being said, mine, I have everything up, but again, eventually I plan on spray foam insulation in the rafters, framing all this in, making it look nice, yada yada yada. So with that being said, I'm going to make sure where these ducts are right now will be in a conditioned space. So that's why I should be able, I still would have liked it to have been silverback, but it may not matter. Just in the interim, while because it'll still be like 2 years before I do anything with the attic at the rate I'm going. You want to put all your ducting and on the ground. You don't on the floor. You don't want to put it up high in the rafters like I'm doing. This is not how you would do it unless you plan on finishing the attic and you're going to do a lot more work to the attic and make it a conditioned space. And if the attic is your only choice, you want to put it in the ground. You also want to use silverback ducts, flex duct, for the insulation. Don't get the black. Not sure why a professional, when I ordered this stuff, he's seen my house, he knew where I was putting it. I'm not sure why he sold me black, but that's what he sold me, and that's all they had. I could order it from Home Depot for the same price, silverback. I didn't realize, I didn't pay attention. I took it as a given that, you know, I'm dealing with a professional, he would have sold me the right stuff. Keep in mind, generally when you hire somebody, they aren't going to do any better. They really aren't. They're going to charge you $15,000 and they're going to do crap. If you read all the, if you go and look at there's one guy, he really good, the guy really, he has a website, I don't know where it's at, but he shows all the things everybody does wrong. And I'd be one of them. But the point is, they're all professionals. He's showing what all these professionals do wrong. And so when I'm comparing and telling you what I've done wrong in this scenario, that's what somebody would do for your house that just charged you 15 grand. So, you know, you might as well just do it yourself. The simple fact is most people today are idiots and they don't care about workmanship and they aren't going to do a good job and they're going to just charge you an arm and a leg. You're going to be far and few to find the guy like the one that does that website that shows you everything that everybody else does wrong. Very few people are actually that good at their job. And so, in my opinion is, if you don't have 15, 20 grand, don't pay somebody else to do it. Unless you have actually done the research so that you can actually look at it and know that he's doing it wrong. And so when he goes up there and he puts black flex and he hangs it in the rafters, you can say, hey, no, I'm not paying 20 grand for this. But unless you've done the research and unless you have the courage to tell your guy off and tell him, you know, you're an idiot, I'm firing you, I'm getting somebody else that may charge me 20 grand, but do it right. Do you really want to do that? I say skip it and do it yourself. Anyway, I am almost done. I still have to cut the holes, but I got all the duct work, the plenum's up, I just got to seal some gaps. Once I seal the gaps in the plenum, I'm literally almost done. Now, if I was to put it in a solid amount of time that I've worked on this, I would say I've put I probably got about 40 hours, but I don't know what I'm doing. You know, 10 hours a week. So, yeah, if maybe not even that much. I guess what I'm saying is it's not that hard. And unless you know you're hiring somebody that actually really is going to do a quality job, you could be paying 15 to 20 grand for somebody that wouldn't do any better than I'm doing. I guess that's my point. Because, like I say, the person I ordered these parts from, was a air conditioning guy, a professional, and he's seen my house. He's the one that worked with the other guy that installed the line. So he was up here, he knew what I was doing, he knew what I was using it for, and this is the stuff he gave me. That meant he thought that was okay. So far, the hardest thing out of this project was the plenum. That was, I would not have been able to do that. I had a friend come over, he's been doing his own home remodeling. He's put several of his own furnaces. He's not a professional any means, but he had all the tools, he had everything we needed, and we built the plenum. We got the parts, the guy that sold me all the parts, the plenum was not quite the right size. I still haven't completely sealed it all the way around, but the plenum was not the right size. So, but there's the back side. I know the plenum is not, I'm not finished putting the plenum sealing it all and sealing the cracks and all that bit. So when I show you this, keep that in mind, I'm not finished. But the plenum was not the right size. We had to take, and he had some tools, enough tools to make it. So it's kind of rough, but he had to bend the plenum to make this shape so that it would fit. And then we got that side. Now we got on the side here, so you can kind of see it, get it focused. So you can see how he had to bend it in and form it to make it so it would fit, because the plenum was this much too long, and so we had to bend this and make it so it would fit. So this is going to go out to the 10-inch duct on this side, and then this is going to go out. I got to get a 90-degree for that, and this is going to go out to the 12-inch duct. So I'll show you what we got up above, and actually I can show you the plenum tonight. There's the plenum. Isn't it pretty? It took him 2 hours to build this, but yeah, that's it. It fits, it works. Like I say, I gotta seal all the little air gaps and stuff. Okay, so this isn't the next day. This is actually about 2 months later. Finally getting around to filming this other video. The AC has been in for 2 months, working great. I used that thermostat that you saw in the previous videos. I programmed it so that it would cool it mostly down in the evenings rather than running during the day. So most of the time during the day it would only run if it got above 76 degrees, and then it would kick on. And then when the evening came, it would kick it down to 74 at 6 p.m. And then at 10 o'clock at night when we're heading towards bed, it would make sure it was about 68, because that's where we like to have it. And generally it would kick off in the middle of the night because it was 68 degrees. We noticed in the morning the light's starting to come in, the humidity started to rise. So the AC wasn't running because it was still 68 degrees, and so it would get a little sticky. And so what I did is at 6 a.m. I set the thermostat to kick on and knock it down to 66 degrees. So that way it would be running and get the humidity out. And so that worked well, and I'd keep it at 66 up to about 10 a.m. Here's what it looks like here. Got these all installed. So we got all those in, and all right, so you can see where I have the ducts strapped up, and there's the duct work. And then I went ahead and just put a piece of wood here so that this is not laying. So here's the 12-inch, and it goes across, and there you go. It goes into the plenum. 12-inch goes down into the plenum, which I need to still put the insulation on. I haven't finished that. And then, so there you can see the straps and the ducts there. So there you go.